evening, viewers, and welcome to this edition of NTV Sports Page. It's Wednesday, the 21st of September, and I'm Curtis Morton. In our headlines, Nevis Knockout set to commence Saturday, and in our feature for this evening, Grand Yoga session set for Saturday. We'll take this break, and I'll be right back.
Listen closely, and you will hear what climate change might sound like.
$30 for a hand of bananas?
Severe drought could destroy banana plants and drive food prices up.
And now we can see the dead coral reef below us.
Dead coral? I thought it was alive.
No, it's dead. If you look at the pictures, you can see what the coral used to look like.
Oh, wow.
Natural wonders like coral reefs are disappearing. But listen closely again, and you can hear the solution. People disposing of garbage responsibly and not in drains and rivers. People responsibly discarding engine oil. Our climate may be changing, but so can we. Making small changes together can have a huge effect on reducing the impacts of climate change. Act now. Rally. Rethink. Respond. This message is brought to you by the OECS Secretariat with funded assistance from USAID.
Well, I'm back, and we start with cricket. The ICC makes changes to cricket rules. Slow over rate penalty, extra fielder inside the circle to be introduced in one days as well. The ICC's changes will also destigmatize the run-out of the non-striker for backing up, as we call it, mankading, or we also say Whitechapel, by moving it from unfair play to run-out. I hope the batsmen take note. After introducing a penalty for slow over rates in T20s, the ICC has decided to bring the in-match penalty into play in one days as well. For each over the fielding team falls short by scheduled cessation time of the innings, after taking time allowances into play, they must have an additional fielder inside the ring. For example, if a team completes only 48 overs when their stipulated time runs out, the last 2 overs must be bowled with just 4 fielders outside of the ring. It will come into effect after the One-Day Super League ends next year. In January this year, the ICC had introduced a rule for T20s for both men and women, where if the fielding team is unable to start the final over of the innings within the stipulated time, they would be penalized by bringing an additional fielder into the 30-yard circle, which means they would be able to place a maximum of 4 fielders at the boundary. This rule will now come into effect into the one days as well, starting next year. The ICC, in its new playing conditions, has banned the use of saliva to polish the ball altogether after initially putting it in place as a temporary measure during the COVID-19 pandemic. That aside, a batter's movement will be restricted to within the pitch, or the delivery will be called dead. This is restricted so as to require some part of their bat or person to remain within the pitch, the ICC said in a statement. Should they venture beyond that, the umpire will call and signal dead ball. Any ball which would force the batter to leave the pitch will also be called no ball. Unfair and deliberate movements by the fielding side while the bowler is running in will be penalized. Any unfair and deliberate movement while the bowler is running into bowl could now result in the umpire awarding a 5-run penalty to the batting side, in addition to calling a dead ball. The ICC changes, like the MCC's recommendations, will also destigmatize the run-out of the non-striker for backing up, commonly known as mankading, or as we say here, Whitechapel, by moving it from unfair play section to the run-out section. Bowlers will not be allowed to throw the ball at the striker's end before completing the delivery. Previously, a bowler who saw the batter advancing down the wicket before entering their delivery stride could throw the ball to attempt to run out the striker. This practice will now be called a dead ball. Most of these changes have been introduced in March this year by the MCC in their laws of the game that were to come into effect later this year. Now to athletics, the Nevis Knockout is definitely on for this weekend. We hear from Sheila James.
So thankfully Fiona didn't cause too much damage on the grounds at the Fit Wellness. So we're back on this Saturday, the 24th of September at 5 p.m. sharp. Come and witness 16 persons in a knockout competition. It's called It's a Nevis Knockout, public versus private sector. Bring your whistles and bring your rags, bring your horns, but just come and support these guys. They really need your support. It's going to be a fabulous event.
We'll take this break and I'll be back with our feature for this evening. Welcome back, and tonight athletics remains in the spotlight. We hear about a grand yoga session set for this weekend. Let's take in this.
I'm Teresia Herbert, the Education and Prevention Officer at the Nevis Health Promotion Unit. I'm here to talk about our Fitness in the Tropics initiative. It is an initiative that was birthed within the Health Promotion Unit. We also collaborate with TDC and the Ministry of Tourism. As part of our Fitness in the Tropics initiative, and as we celebrate Caribbean Wellness Day, the Nevis Health Promotion Unit will be hosting a beach yoga event on Saturday, September 24th at 7 a.m. The event will be hosted by local yoga instructor Myra Romaine and will take place in the vicinity of Sunshines at 7 a.m. As usual, all of our Fitness in the Tropics events are free of charge. Participants are encouraged to bring a large beach towel or a yoga mat. So come out and enjoy some relaxation and meditation on Saturday, September 24th.
Well, that's our package for this evening. I am Curtis Morton, reminding you that you can watch sports if you're not fit. But to play sports requires fitness, diligence, and a sacrifice. Have a good night.